Very warmest of welcomes to you indeed to the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku, Azerbaijan, and the second day of competition at the second FIG Apparatus World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. A new year, a new Olympic cycle, a new code of points with some interesting differences that we'll get into over the next little while. But first and foremost, it is wonderful to have your company for what's coming up. We've got the men's vault and women's balance beam finals, the men's pommel horse and women's floor finals, and we'll conclude our coverage with the men's horizontal bar final before bringing you the award ceremonies at the close of play from Baku, Azerbaijan, on the shores of the Caspian Sea and in this lovely purpose-built gymnastics arena. My name's Ollie Hogben, and it's a pleasure to have your company for all of the action from the National Gymnastics Arena. A very familiar sight to all of you, I'm sure, who've been watching World Cup competition over the years. It's a great space, very good training facilities as well, just away from the competition floor. That's one of the best features of the National Gymnastics Arena. It's just over the road from the National Stadium of Azerbaijan. What's coming up first?
We're going
to have the floor competitions and pommel horse competitions later as well. And we shall conclude our coverage with the horizontal bar. Lots to enjoy then. Let's get the finalists out onto the floor and let's get the competition started in Baku. The finalists in the men's vault competition. Top in qualification, Huang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China, who has competed at World Championship level as a vault specialist. He'll go third in the order. We'll also keep a very close eye on Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine, who was 1,000th of a mark behind Huang in qualification. Cheperny, a World Championship medalist on vault. The women's balance beam competition. And it's going to be a very interesting competition actually to scrutinise, because the top performer in qualification was Nakamura Haruka, and she will go first. And the second best performer was Greta Moyer of Hungary. She'll go second, so we'll have a very interesting idea of things after the first couple have gone. Let's have the formal introductions. Some very familiar faces and some newcomers as well. Good luck to all of them across the women's and men's competitions in Baku as we get set to begin. Welcome back to those of you who've been watching a lot of World Cup competition over the years, and welcome to those of you who are new to the World Cup circuit. It might be that you particularly enjoy the gymnastics at the Olympic Games, as most of the world's population does, and have decided now to get into the regular season. This is part of a series of World Cup competitions that take place across the year. There are also World Challenge Cup events that are much of a muchness. I won't go too much into the difference between World Cup and World Challenge Cup, because they ultimately adhere to exactly the same system, which is 5 apparatus finals on one day and 5 on the next. For the most part, there are a couple of events that have all of the finals on one day. But it's one of the very interesting features of these World Cup competitions, because we get real apparatus specialists turning up. We get people like this gentleman, Wang Mingqi, the 27-year-old from the Guangxi Autonomous Region, borders Vietnam. And some of you may know it from years gone by because its capital city, Nanning, hosted the 2014 World Championships. Guang actually means vast or expansive. And it'll be lovely to see the gentleman from China who's competing at his first World Cup event since 2018. Leslie Savrambashi having a warm-up there on the balance beam, somebody who has been a World Cup champion on the uneven bars. And what a privilege for us to enjoy at this World Cup an Olympian, fantastic gymnast in Kishirina, who competed in Paris and made 3 finals on the floor with the team and in the all-around competition. Very close to being in the top 10 in the all-around. So the split warm-up system is in operation. That means, as I'm sure many of you know, that the first 4 gymnasts will warm up, then compete, and then the next 4 gymnasts. Great to see the next generation of Japanese gymnasts coming through. A relatively new senior, Nakamura Haruka, competed at the Olympiad. Good hold. Did really well to stay on there. She was the top qualifier with a score of 13.6. There's lots of difficulty, bags of it in this routine. That's a loss of stability coming out of the wolf turns. Certainly hand-made contact with the apparatus. Side Somi was good. Nicely controlled free walkover as well. A real sense of purpose and fluidity to this performance from Nakamura Haruka. Oh, nice twisting work as well to conclude. I still cannot quite believe that she managed to hold on at the beginning. Difficult mount sequence. We'll come back to that in due course. Now over we go to the men's vault competition. Benno Kunst of Slovenia, 4th best in qualifying, 13.866. And he starts with a corker of a Roche vault. Wow. Well, that wasn't half bad. Now, for those of you who are just jumping back into gymnastics now and want a bit of an update on the code of points, here's where it's particularly prescient. All men's vaults have had their difficulty score reduced by 0.4 of a mark. So this Roche vault stuck tremendously. Used to be a 5.2 difficulty, it's now a 4.8 difficulty. And that That wasn't just a roche, that was a rip-roaring roche. Be great to see him do well, because he has worked very hard to try to get into finals at World Cup level, and he made it. 14.166 for that first vault, virtually the same as qualifying. He made it into the final in the Szombathely World Cup in Hungary last year as the top qualifier, finished 8th. It was a really unfortunate moment, but he's a very good young vaulter. Now let's see how this second vault goes. So this is a vault that would have been a 4.8 difficulty under the old code. Yes. Handspring front layout with a double twist. Nakamura Haruka, 13.433. She's actually gained difficulty.
Please welcome Maja Greta, Hungary.
This is Greta Moyer of Hungary. Nice save there as she was just slightly skidding offline on the mount. She won the gold medal on beam at the Hungarian Apparatus Championships last year and at the overall national championships earlier in the year. So very good results domestically on this apparatus. Very nice double pike to conclude that. So Benno Kunst, 13.833. Actually the same as qualification. There we go to the local gymnast, Murad Agarzayev of Azerbaijan. And he's well off, unfortunately, on his roche. Real contrast to what we saw from Benno Kunst. Six-year-old. He grew up in Sumkayit, which is Azerbaijan's second largest city. It's about 30 kilometers north of Baku, but he's one of the gymnasts who trains at the Orchak Sports Club, which is very much based around here. .433. that was better, wasn't it? Second vault from Agazaev. 13.133 for Greta Moyer, way up from qualification. She goes into second place. Nazli Savrambashi. That's decently. She was the 7th best performer in qualification with a score of 12. That's a shame. It's difficult to keep the stability. Smooth and relatively simple dismount from the Olympian from Tokyo. Agazaev, 12.799 is his average. To go back to the second vault of Benno Kunst and make a correction there. He was indicating a vault number 1.15, which is a handspring front layout with double twist. He actually got a 4.4 because it was 1.5 twist that he performed. I said it was a double because that's what he was indicating on the board, so must have made the decision to play that safer, and a smart move because it's resulted in a good score. Indeed, that is what he chose to do in qualification as well, so he's obviously thinking about going for that double at some point when the conditions are right. This is Wang Mingqi. Oh, there was so much amplitude in that performance. Lovely straight body position as well. Now we expect his difficulty to be the highest of anyone. Astonishing degree of amplitude. Gives him plenty of time to get the body around in the twist position. So that's a Yang Hakson vault. Handspring front and a triple twist. .766. Not a vault that one sees a huge amount, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty lovely when you do see it done like that. Yang did it to win a couple of world titles just over a decade ago. Gymnast from the Republic of Korea. It was a lovely one for those of you who like to play obscure vault bingo. You know who you are. Let's have a look at his second vault. We anticipate this being not quite as complicated. I say not quite as complicated. It's still a belter of a vault. Nazli Savrambashi, 10.7 her score. Unfortunately, is quite a drop from qualification. Now to Kishi Rina. 12.6 in qualifying, the 4th best. There's nice stability in those Wolf turns. Well to stabilise after getting quite a bit of height. Nice control in the side somersault. It's amazing to think this is actually her World Cup debut. She's competed at the World Championships and competed at the Olympic Games. So it's lovely to see her competing here. Becoming a really important all-around performer for the Japanese. Oh, she was very low coming down at the double pike, but stabilised it. 14.066 for the second one, 14.416. Yes, that was indeed a triple twisting Yurchenko vault. I wanted to be certain that I'd seen the 3 twists there because it was so quickly done. So we've just seen a Yang and a triple Yurchenko from that gentleman, Wang Mingqi. That's extraordinary. Here's Eddie Penev from Bulgaria. Yes, that was very nice. That's a Schufelt. Year-old, very experienced. Done some lovely vaulting over the course of his career. He has won 7 World Cup medals. Very well performed, that Schufelt vault. That's the 2.5 twisting Yurchenko. Just we contrast that with what we saw from Huang, which was the triple twisting Yurchenko, associated with the likes of Shirai Kenzo and Kim Hee-hoon. So it will be 4/10 low in its difficulty evaluation. There we go. 14 for Penev. Nice execution score, 9.2. Got ourselves a really enjoyable men's vault final here. Yes, that is a thoroughly impressive performance from Penev. 12.866. Kishi goes into the bronze medal position. Now we're in the warm-up process for the second half. Well, I hope you're enjoying this vault and it's been competition so far. Eddie Penev goes into the bronze medal position, 13.65. So we have Huang, then Benno Kunst, then Eddie Penev, occupying first, second and third in the men's vault. And it's an absolute joy to see this gymnast. Angel Wong of Hong Kong, China, 37, competed at the Olympiad in London in 2012. Very fine performer on balance beam as well. It's a luxury to get to watch her compete on the apparatus. She's got a very fine style. And then we're going to see somebody who is 22 years younger afterwards in Chu Yiming, a new senior. We move on then to the second half of this vault and balance beam competition. Young gymnast from Turkey, Bengüsü Yıldız, was the 8th best in qualification with a score of 11.966. She's been a medalist on the beam at the Islamic Solidarity Games and had a lovely end to her season last year, winning the Turkish title in all-around gymnastics as well as on the beam and on the floor. So really quite splendid. Oh yes, lovely acrobatic sequence. The aerial nicely performed as well. Slight oscillation on the horizontal, but stability well demonstrated in the wolf turns. Free walkover, no problems there either. In terms of the mechanics of this display, it's very secure looking. Even moments like that can be so easy for the gymnast to lose their equilibrium. Minor adjustment there. She was struggling to be fully round on that landing. Just a slightly sideways position, but that was a commanding performance for the most part from the teenager Bengüsü Yıldız. Looked like she was very comfortable. Now this is going to be really interesting because we're going to see a silver medalist from the Youth Olympic Games on vault and a World Championship medalist from 2023. He then went on to the European Championships to win a medal. Nazar Çeperni. We expect he will give away 4/10 of a mark in difficulty by comparison to Wang Mingqi. If he executes with the clarity that he can, then it could be a very competitive final. Dragulescu to begin. Roche vault with that half twist of the body to add 4/10 of difficulty. Lots of good height. Small landing adjustment, minor deduction to be taken there. But that's a good display. Now that certainly puts him in line to at least get second position on the leaderboard. The execution of vault number 2 is going to need to be really crackerjack in order for him to challenge Wang Mingqi. imagine from an execution standpoint, this ought to do rather well. 14.5 and 9.3 for execution. So that is 0.266 lower than the score for Huang, but Huang had an extra 0.4 of difficulty. So he's made up a lot of ground when it comes to execution. We now expect his second vault will be the same difficulty score as Huang in qualifying. Oh, very fine. Lopez vault. 12.2 for Yildiz. We now look at Ritu Das. Gymnast from India, unfortunately coming off on the mount. She was the 5th best performer in qualification. Second time that she's competed in a World Cup event. She performed on beam in Cairo last year. Good hold, well done. She's settled nicely into this routine now. That's good too. Some quite unusual work here. It's really memorable and really rather stylish to witness. Choreographically, it's nice to watch too. Well, wasn't that enjoyable to witness from Ritu Das of India? He's done it. He's got him. Nazar Chhapurny beats Huang Minqi into 2nd place. It's the execution that's done it. Despite giving away 0.4 of difficulty, by 0.05 of a mark, he's gone into the gold medal position. That's a very good effort from Chhapurny. We go to Dimitar Dimitrov of Bulgaria. He's been a World Cup medalist on vault. That's a good start. He's a little piked in that Kasamatsu. Actually, it was a handspring front 1.5. That was the same as we saw from Benno Kunst. He was indicating a Kasamatsu 1.5 on the board, which is interesting. So 13.3 for that handspring front 1.5, as we saw from Benno Kunst. He was really struggling there. Just quite piked and out of bounds too. 10.2 for Ritu Das. Execution 5.6. Now to Angel Wong of Hong Kong, China, the Olympian from 2012. Very nice mount sequence. She actually has her own version of that where there's a half turn added to it. I believe it was actually at the Olympiad in 2012 that she demonstrated it, had it added to the code of points. This is a gymnast who won a silver medal on vault at the Asian Championships back in 2008. She's hugely experienced. She's competed at so many World Cup events of late. Good alignment in the side somersault. Quite getting the legs up to a horizontal position. Good stabilisation at the end, as she was very slightly leaning backwards. The 8.466 execution for the double twisting Yurchenko from Dimitrov, so that's coming down in 5th position. Igor Sharemkov, competing as a neutral athlete. 3rd best in qualifying. 14.183. If he gets that here, he would go into the bronze medal position. It was a little bit wild in terms of the execution at times. Did manage to land it though. Let's just have a look back at this in terms of the flight. It's a bit of separation. It's not the tidiest twisting work, and he's rather jarred as he lands, but it's complicated. That's a very impressive bit of vaulting work. Handspring front layout with 2.5 twists. .933. It's a vault that used to be a 5.6 difficulty, it's now 5.2, with that trend for everything dropping by 4/10. Named after Yo Hongchul. I'm sure there are some of you who remember Atlanta 1996 and Yo winning the silver medal in the vaulting competition. Next from Sharemkov. Dragulescu, that was very smooth looking. Wong He's in 5th place, 11.433. Not an enormous difficulty score, but an enjoyable performance to watch. 3rd best qualifier, Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China, 12.733. The young gymnast from Fujian province, last to go in this women's beam competition. Good stabilisation, she actually makes light of. Some very graceful work in this performance. And some powerful height work to conclude. Sharamkov's in the bronze medal position, no surprise when you consider those vaults, both 5.2 difficulties, 14.099. Seeing some really compelling vaulting. Now we go to the last performer. Chandrasekhar from India. He's a little out in his alignment as he lands and needs to take some big steps. So quite a lot of tenths to come off the execution score because of those adjustments. A young competitor, only 22. A sideways lilt as he lands. He's from Talasari in Kerala State. Very famous ancient trading hub for spices. Worth a mention when you think about where this event is, on the Silk Road. Had a very good time at the All India Inter-University Championships last year when he won a bronze medal on vault. To see him in his World Cup debut. It's been a pleasure getting to see some of the new faces on the Indian team at this World Cup. 11.666 for his first vault. It's only a 4.04 difficulty. Now in qualification he performed his most difficult vault second. Well, he was going for a roche and unfortunately was quite some way from landing it. Chu Yiming goes into the silver medal position. It's a very good performance, 13.266. The classified results in the beam competition: bronze to Grete Moyer of Hungary, the silver medal won by Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China, and gold to Nakamura Haruka of Japan. really good quality gymnastics performed on the beam there. And a memorable beam final, even from the gymnasts who finished lower down the leaderboard. Lots to enjoy about their stylistic decisions. Very good watch, that. A really good effort from this gentleman. It's a big occasion when you perform in your first World Cup event, especially when you look at who's in that vault final with you. Naidu Uday Chandrasekhar, 12.016. So the second vault was stronger. The classified results in the men's vault final: Igor Sharamkov taking the bronze medal, the silver to Huang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China, and gold won by Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine. Very close execution, beating difficulty on this occasion. And commiserations to Benno Kunst, who finished fourth. But for him, when you consider the last time we saw him in a World Cup vault final, he really struggled with the occasion. That was great to see his gymnastics looking so much more assured. He'll get a World Cup medal in time if he keeps doing that. Now the finalists in the women's floor event. This gentleman will be competing in the pommel horse competition. You're watching the Baku World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics, the start of the 2025 season. This is the second World Cup event after Cottbus took place last month. Now, I've already mentioned on a couple of occasions that there are some differences in the code of points for men and women this season. The pommel horse competition will be taking place in just a moment, and there's real interest in this one for the United States of America. They had the top two performers in qualification. Patrick Hoop, the second best, will go ahead of Brandon Dang, who was the strongest performer. Word, we've seen some lovely pommel horse gymnastics from the United States of America in recent years. It feels mandatory to mention good old Stephen Nedorosik at this point. The floor final for women at the World Cup. And the top in qualifying was Japan's Kina Rishi with a score of 12.8. She will go penultimate starting position. The second best, her own teammate Tokutsugi Aya, who will go second. Now, just to go back to what I was mentioning about the code of points and the pommel horse, one of the interesting features is the downgrading, by and large, of the Wenderschwing elements. For those of you who are newer to watching gymnastics, that's where the gymnast is performing circular motions facing down in the direction of the apparatus with a straight body position. Now they form the backbone of a lot of pommel horse routines. Maybe they feature less now under the new system. We'll have to wait and see. Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China performing on floor, the third best in qualification. In qualification, Chu Yiming was among the more complicated performers. It's a nice variety of tumbling passes. And that was reflected in a difficulty score of 5.2 in the preliminary phase.
Please welcome Chayan Sandhya Harikrishnan, India.
Chayan Sandhya Harikrishnan of India, World Cup debutant. 13.333 in qualification, just made it into the final. Good luck to him here. Just getting a little clipping of the apparatus. He's working hard to keep his body raised. A little form deterioration here and there. Magyar Shivado work though, and really good determination to get that body raised upwards and to dismount with cleanliness. Very enjoyable performance that from the 15-year-old Chu Yiming from Fujian province. For the score to come in. .766, so it's an improvement from qualification by just over a tenth. It's a job nicely done. On the subject of jobs nicely done, how impressive Tokutsuki Ayu has been in her debut in World Cup competition. Got onto the uneven bars podium. Now she performs as the second strongest in floor qualifying. Wasn't that lovely? The 19-year-old who's been fabulous to watch. 13.466. He's up from qualification. Well done to Jayan Sandhya Harikrishnan. Van der Aar from Belgium. Third best in qualification. Scored 14.133. Keeping decent clearance. Leg separation, but steadied. Very powerful routine, this. Does have some Wenderschwing work and cuts out the middle to make that complicated. Yes, very nice. He's only 19. From an execution point of view, that looked rather tidy. 12.9. She goes into the lead. She's actually up quite a bit from qualification, from 12.633. From Kazakhstan, Arina Lebedeva, 16-year-old who competed at the Junior World Championships in Turkey in 2023. Just her second season in World Cup competition, a teenager from Kazakhstan. Very kinetic performance, lots of spring. And Van der Aar goes into the lead, 14.1. Actually the same as qualifying. Now, this is going to be interesting. The two American gentlemen about to perform. This is Patrick Hoops, 22, from Utah. Same score as Brandon Dang in the preliminary round, 14.3. It's just he had higher difficulty than his teammate, so losing out on the execution tiebreak. Nice toe point, the heels really pressed together. Gosh, this looks very smooth. Again, cuts out part of the pommel horse in the Wenderschwing. Some good single arm work too going on, and gets around in that pirouette. Very tidy. .633 for Lebedeva. So it represents a strong improvement of about 0.4 from qualifying. From Croatia, Antea Sikic Kaučić, from the capital city of Zagreb. 16-year-old makes her World Cup debut, but she is the reigning national champion on floor. That was fabulous. There are some gymnastics routines you want to give numbers to and some you want to open a bag of popcorn to, and that was the latter. It was just theatrical and full of dance. 14.533, that's a great score. Execution is way up there. Patrick Hoops leads. Brandon Dang of the United States of America. Now his teammate has just gone beyond the qualification score they both had, 14.3, so that is a challenge for the man who grew up in San Jose in California. Gosh, he's got some good clearance though. That's when teammates, despite being competitors, support each other. It's part of the ethos of this great sport. Gosh, he can move fast, can't he? Brandon Dang. Real specialist on this apparatus. Easy to see why she's the national champion on floor. That was just a treat. Not the most difficult of the routines, but in terms of its performative quality, that's what you want to see on floor. That's why there's music on floor, so it can be performed to, so it can be danced to. She only competed on floor at last year's national championships. It's very much her apparatus, as if you're in any doubt about that after witnessing that performance. I think that's going to be one of the most memorable moments of the entire weekend of World Cup competition, actually, regardless of the position it occupies on the leaderboard, regardless of the difficulty score. .1 for Antea Sikic-Kaučić. She's in 4th position, but she's got the highest execution score of everyone so far. Now her difficulty is down a bit from qualifying. We'll come back to that later. He's in the gold medal position. Brandon Dang, 14.633. Great to see those two young men from the USA pushing each other. And what's crucial for Dang is that he actually gained 0.2 in difficulty compared to qualification. So that's put him a 10th ahead of his teammate. But that was very assured work from those two young men. They'll be very pleased about that. The American fans watching on, I'm sure there are many of you thrilled with what you've just seen.
Warm-up time has ended. Please
Now we go
welcome
to the second half of this women's floor final. Bengüsü Yıldız of Turkey, the reigning national champion of this apparatus, and most other things, because she had a great conclusion to 2024. Sixth best in qualifying here. It's been a very enjoyable floor final. Playing her part, Bengüsü Yıldız. First competition of 2025. Getting her season underway with these World Cups. Now, keep a very close eye on this young man. This is David Ivanov of Bulgaria. 17, born in the nation that he represents, but he lives in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. He trains at South Essex. You know a thing or two about the old Pommelhorse there. And he won the silver medal at the Junior European Championships in Italy last year. A slight height position to the body at times, but that's very nice. He's really developing. He's putting more into his gymnastics. He's adding some difficulty. That's really enjoyable. I think we're going to see a lot more of that young gentleman. 12.266, Bengüsü Yıldız goes into fourth place. So it's still Tokutsuki Ayu who's leading. Now we go to Kira Maharovic, competing as a neutral athlete. 12.1 in qualification, the 8th strongest. interesting weekend. Yesterday was the elder stateswomen dominating in vault. All of these women's floor finalists are teenagers. Something for everyone. And there's a teenager performing well on the horse, David Ivanov, 14.066. But just to go back to that point I was making about the women's floor final and the vault competition, how can you not be inspired as a female gymnast looking at the role models you've got there, both young and more senior in their careers? Zeynola Idrisov of Kazakhstan, 4th best in qualifying. Smoothness is coming really as he goes through this routine. Very straight body position. Look at the midsection, there's almost no bend. A little bit more there. Elegant pirouette to finish, nice. Junior World Championship medalist on the pommel horse in 2023. 12.233 for Kira Mahanovic, she goes into 5th position. Now the top performer in qualification, Kishi Rina, a 17-year-old from Japan. 12.8 her score in the preliminary round. She had the highest difficulty score in qualification. You have seen some evidence as to why. Super work from Kishi Rina. Super work from Zeynola Idrisov, 14.4. He goes into the bronze medal position ahead of Kylian van der Aar. Vlad Hrykov of Ukraine, the penultimate gymnast to go in this men's pommel horse final. 13.4 in qualification. A Youth Olympic Games silver medalist on this apparatus in 2014. Time flies. Good control. Sometimes a bit of a midsection bend, maybe a slight lack of toe point here and there, some small features, but mechanically, in terms of the gymnastics he's performing, it's very good. Dealt with the leg separation there, maybe just slightly slowed him down, but he picked back up, very powerful. Well performed. Vlad Hrykov. Tokutsuki Ayu leads on 12.9 with a 5.2 difficulty. Yeah, there we go, 13.066. I did think the difficulty might be a bit higher than qualification. She's gained 3/10 and she's gone into the lead. Now to Natalia Jacobi of Serbia, from Cleveland in Ohio in the USA. Oh, well done. Congratulations on a senior international debut, Natalia Jacobi. She actually has pictures of herself as a child with Oksana Chusevitna from 2018. Now she's competing with her 13.5. Kladruko in 6th place. Levan Shkiladze of Georgia. It's always a pleasure to watch him on this apparatus. 6th at the European Championships last year. He's moving nice and quickly. He's the last gymnast to go in this final, but he needs in excess of 14.4 to get on the podium. That would be a big increase from qualification. Lots of tidiness. Oh, just as it was looking tidy. That's pommel horse for you, isn't it? It can all change in an instant. Oh, it's a beguiling thing, that apparatus. Shkiladze completes his routine. What an amazing moment for Natalia Jacobi. Just imagine it, she has that photograph as a child taken with her icon, Oksana Chusevitna. And now suddenly, there they are competing at World Cup level together. A moment to treasure for a lifetime. Congratulations, Natalia Jacobi, on your senior international debut. She's finished 7th in this floor final. The classified results in the women's floor competition. Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China takes bronze. Tokutsuki Ayu, of Japan takes silver with 12.9, and Kishi Rina, her teammate, wins it with 13.06. It's a crucial difficulty upgrade there from Kishi of 3/10.
Let's welcome Masters of our finalists.
12.166 for Levan Shkiladze. He's in 8th place. Unfortunately, came off. The classified results in the men's pommel horse competition. Kazakhstan's Zenala Idrisov wins bronze. Patrick Hoops of the USA takes the silver medal, and his teammate Brandon Dang finishes ahead of him by 1/10 of a mark. He added 2/10 of difficulty in the final, and that was the key differential. We have just one more final to bring you now, the men's horizontal bar competition. We should be in for a very interesting men's horizontal bar final. Great that we've got the reigning World Universities champion, who's also the reigning Asian champion. We've got one of the most spectacular horizontal bar performers in the world. The men's horizontal bar final, and the top performer in qualification, the gymnast who occupies the anti-penultimate position in the starting order, Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan, the reigning World Universities champion and the Asian champion to boot. The second best performer in qualification, Chiba Kenta, will go right before him. I was talking about entertainers, one of the most entertaining in the world, Noah Kuavita. It's just one of life's little pleasures, isn't it, watching Noah Kuavita on the horizontal bar. Should be mandatory viewing on a rainy day, because it will always lift the spirit. It's one of gymnastics' most exciting things when Noah Kuavita hits that dismount on the horizontal bar. Nice that we're going to see Huang Mingqi in this final, having performed ever so well to take silver on vault. And we'll bring you all of the award ceremonies at the close of play. The next World Cup competition is in Antalya, in Turkey, which was the place that hosted the Junior Championships of the World in 2023. That is the weekend after next. Then we move on to Osijek, Doha and Cairo, all in April.
Please welcome Blake Rivers, Latvia.
Then there will be 3 stops in the spring and summer, moving just into the autumn in the World Challenge Cup series of artistic gymnastics. We begin with Ričards Plate from Latvia. He's 21 and he was 4th on the horizontal bar at the Junior European Championships in 2020. He's always had a good relationship with this piece. Qualified for the World Championships in 2023 as one of the top 8 performers at World Cup level on the horizontal bar in the season leading up to it, so should be comfortable here. He was the 6th best in qualifying. nicely controlled so far. He does get his big release move, perform with accuracy. Perfectly tidy start that from Ričards Plate of Latvia. Undergraduate in electrical engineering at the Technical University of Riga. He was the flag bearer in the opening ceremony at the World University Games in China. 2023, those delayed games. Coleman, chosen as his release element. From a difficulty standpoint, this is what we expect to be one of the lower scoring routines in the final. But strange things happen sometimes in horizontal bar finals. If the first gymnast just goes through nice and cleanly, on the podium. He has gone through cleanly, 12.733. His execution is up by about 3/10 from qualifying. Now, Plate had a difficulty of 4.2. Noah Kuavita in qualifying had a difficulty of 5.8. He was the fourth best in the preliminary round. The Olympian from Paris. Always entertain. Lots of power. Cassina. Oh, yes. Laid out, body in a nice straight position, and then a Kachev, first straddle, and then varies it. Now here we go. Oh! Well, there are very few who can dismount like that. Really packs in the rotations in the pike position, gets an extra one compared to most. Yes, that difficulty-wise will be right up there, one imagines. He turns 26 in a few months' time. Got a powerful swing. He gets a real sense of kinetic energy. Yeah, that spectacular pike position dismount. Ričards Plate on 12.733. Kuavita scored 13.433 in the qualification phase. Yes, absolutely. Mark of an Olympian. Tattoo that so many sport with absolute pride, as they should. He qualified through actually the parallel bars route to get to the Olympic Games. That was at the World Championships. So quite a wait for Kuavita's score. just remind you that we have a new code of points, so it's understandable that some of the early judging processes will be a bit slower than later on in the season. We have to give judges time, just as we have to give gymnasts and coaches time to get used to the new code of points. We all have to take time to get used to it. So, an amount of superintendence of this score going on. At some point before the weekend's over, we'll bring it to you. It's worth waiting for, isn't it? 13.966. He's gained an extra 10th in difficulty. The execution's gone way up. So over half a mark gained by Kuavita. That's a medal contending performance from the bold Belgian. Hung Min Chi of the People's Republic of China scored 13.4 in qualifying. He's already managed to get onto the vault podium today. Another gentleman with a powerful and fast swing, yes. Well, he's got some really interesting release and regrasp work. He's got very good form as he performs it. Just, yeah, had some issues there, unfortunately. And all of that just leads into a loss of line on the Kachev. Something was not quite as it should have been for Hung Min Chi after those release and regrasps. It's unfortunate because it started really compellingly. Dismounts well. It had some very good components to it. Unfortunately, full mark clearly will be deducted, and some other issues too. Nonetheless, we're going to see him on the podium later. We're going to see if his excellent vaulting, really world-class vaulting from Hung Min Chi. Still can't quite believe we saw him perform that Yang Hak-song vault so well. Doesn't he have nice extension though in his work on the horizontal bar? That's an example of it. Sense of a loss of the desired swingfulness. He had that problem with the Kachev. So it's 11.6 for Hung Min Chi. He's lost a little difficulty too.
Please welcome the Australian Wang Zhongchao.
Georgian Ioane Jimshelishvili, 7th best performer in qualification. This was an extremely well executed routine. It's simple in terms of difficulty, but it was performed with delightful clarity in qualification, and that's always nice to watch. That occasion, unfortunately, attempting the Kovac, he just drifts away. He has made a World Cup final before on the horizontal bar. Tkachev, straddle version, the most commonly associated particular group of skills. Quite nice looking close control work as well. He dismounts with a certain style. Another routine where either side of the unintentional dismount of the apparatus, it was very good to watch.
Gymnast World Cup starts now.
Will still be Kouavita leading at the halfway stage. So let's have a look back at this performance of the 25-year-old from Tbilisi, Ioane Jimshelishvili. His two Tkachevs. Fantastic work on the body. This will be at the halfway stage of the final. We still have the top 3 performers in qualification all to come. 11.4 for Ioane Jimshelishvili. 3.8 difficulty, exactly the same as qualification. The last couple of warm-ups in progress now. Nice moment for this gentleman, Ivan Tikhonov from Azerbaijan. He always says how much he loves performing in this space, the national arena for gymnastics. He is the outlier from the qualification sense in terms of the second half of the final, because we've got the first, second and third qualifiers and the 8th best qualifier. But that number produced by Noah Kouavita is a compelling one, 13.966. If everything stays as it did in qualification, and come along now, it's a men's horizontal bar final, so it's unlikely to do that. But if it does, just humour me, then Kouavita's score of 13.966 would give him the silver medal. And that is from a position of qualifying 4th. So he has really raised the level in the final. But we often see increases to difficulty in a men's horizontal bar final. It's that interesting risk-reward gamble that all gymnasts have to play. Do they really go for something? How much do they go for it in qualification in order to be sure of a place in the final? without taking needless risks. Chiba Kenta from Osaka in Japan, 28-year-old team champion of the world, part of the reigning World Championship winning Japanese team. He's also been a World Universities team champion and an Asian Games medalist, both with the team and individually. Second best in qualifying, 13.733. That's a big Coleman to open. Very nice pirouette across the park. Oh, lovely dismount! Wasn't that delightful? Now his difficulty, one of the lower difficulty scores of all of the qualifiers, but I think you can tell why he had such a high execution score in the preliminary stage. That's very nice, but it's actually not really the show stealer from an execution standpoint. It's the closer work that he does to the apparatus, and it's so often the component that you don't notice when watching the horizontal bar, but it's so vital that the gymnast doesn't just do spectacular release moves and then have it performed around a hastily cobbled together sequence of awkward bits of gymnastics. They've got to make the whole thing look fluid and poised, and he does do that. He's got good toe point, he extends the body well. I think that's pretty as a picture. Very nice pirouetting work. It is vital that the gymnast establish a full, clean handstand position. They get the body right up to a vertical position, and then not a hint of movement on the landing. 13.933, he almost surpasses Kuavita despite having a full mark of difficulty less than him. That's how good the execution was, 8.933. Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan, top qualifier, here we go, 14.166. The reigning World University Games champion, and he's also the reigning champion of Asia. This man performs great work on the horizontal bar. He's a pleasure to watch. That's lovely. It's a full twist in. Oh, he's wild on the casino and he's off. That set the cat among the pigeons in terms of the likely champion here in Baku. I would say that is now very likely to guarantee Noah Kuavita a place on the podium. Time he does do the casino, connected into the column. Oh, and it's a very nice dismount. Well, look, it's the early days of the season. These things happen. There's certainly a lot in there, difficulty-wise. For those of you who are just becoming reacquainted perhaps with artistic gymnastics or wanting to get to know it a little better following the Olympiad, an interesting thing to watch for in horizontal bar work is that linking of elements, where a gymnast goes from one release and regrasp straight through into another. That's a very good thing for their difficulty score. It's more beneficial than if they take an intermediary swing before performing the second release move. Obviously it carries with it great risk, because you don't have that time just to breathe and to set yourself. You've got to really be spot on in your alignment. Nice to watch that dismount again. He's got medals from all over the place, Milad Karimi. How special to get onto a World Championship podium in Antwerp in the floor competition in 2023, added to his World Universities honours. He's got a full set of colours at the World University Games, including that title won on the horizontal bar in Chengdu, the last medal event of the entire Games. The Chinese fans, I was privileged to be there in the arena commentating it, they were astounded by his work. He got a roar almost to rival the Chinese gymnasts. Lots of honours at the Asian Championships as well, and he's in the bronze medal position with 13.833 despite that issue. That's how good it was from an execution standpoint, and how much difficulty there was. Now to Ivan Tikhonov of Azerbaijan. 8th best in qualifying, 12.2. We're likely to see a lower amount of difficulty, a lesser amount of difficulty here. Oh my goodness, he was a touch wild. Real loss of form. Back he'll go. Tikhonov. That time he makes the Coleman work. And then the Kovac. Kachev skill. Followed by a nicely performed straddle Kachev. Had a little more flair to it. Unfortunate that he had that problem right at the beginning. And then the hands go down at the end. Oh, one of those days, sadly, for Azerbaijan's Ivan Tikhonov. He has full colours from the most recent edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games. Actually took place the edition before that in Baku. The gymnastics competitions happen in this building. The games at which he was successful were in Turkey. Kachev phase of the routine with the pint version. To employ the straddle Kachev. Here it comes. 1.233.
Police Roka, Matsuri Kazuki, Japan.
The last to go. Natsumi Kazuki of Japan, 13.7 in qualifying. Needs to be a little stronger than that to get onto the podium. 13.833, that's Milad Karimi, holds bronze. Chiba Kenta, 13.933, silver. 13.966, Belgium's Noah Kuavita. Cassina keeps the swingfulness, and the Coleman. He just gets clearance on the straight Kachev. Difficult to do that with the straight body position and the straddle version. He's pirouetting as well. There's a lot going on here. It's a superb ending. Great conclusion to the final from Natsumi Kazuki. He won the silver medal at this World Cup in 2023 on the horizontal bar. Back at the routine, from a different angle, seeing the Cassina. Then it's Coleman. Interesting variation on the Kovac. Then, oh, that straight catch here. Good job he clipped his toenails this moment. It's a very good case made, though, by Natsumi Kazuki to push for the podium. He's only gone and won it, 14.1. An 8.6 execution score. The second highest execution score of the entire final. Noah Kuavita finishing in second place. The classified results in the men's horizontal bar final. Bronze to Chiba Kenta of Japan. Belgium's Noah Kuavita wins silver, and right at the end with the last performance of the entire World Cup weekend, Natsumi Kazuki of Japan is your champion. We just ponder that display from Milad Karimi, that finished in fourth position despite not staying on the apparatus for the whole time. So just think about the scoring potential that there is in that routine. It was the most difficult one. Karimi 6.0. Well, we will bring you the ceremonies in just a moment or two. I hope you've enjoyed the action from the Baku World Cup. It's been a very engrossing day of competition. And those ceremonies will be along very soon. Do stay with us, please, to enjoy the scenes of celebration from the National Gymnastics Arena. It's time for the presentations at the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku.
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with our ceremony. Please welcome the medalists.
The victory ceremony in the men's vault competition at the Baku World Cup.
In order ceremony for men's world title, third place and bronze medalist Sharamkov Igor, AIM.
Bronze medal won by Igor Sharamkov,
China.
with some spectacular vaulting. Wang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China takes second place. But despite having lower difficulty, the execution of Nazar Chepurny of Ukraine was strong enough to propel him, figuratively and literally, to the gold medal. We'll now have the national anthem of Ukraine.
National anthem of Ukraine. Congratulations!
We'll continue with the presentations now and the next of 5 victory ceremonies. Victory ceremony of the women's balance beam competition. With the bronze medal at Moya of Hungary. Silver won by Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China. The gold medal to Nakamura Haruka of Japan. There they are, the medalists in the beam competition. Continue the award ceremonies. Men's pommel horse competition next to be presented. Idrisov of Kazakhstan winning the bronze medal. Wonderful performance by the American gymnast Patrick Hoops, taking the silver medal, and his teammate Brandon Dang, the champion. It was a very close pommel horse final, 14.4, 14.533, 14.633. pommel horse performances from Team USA. And there they are, the medalists in the men's pommel horse competition. Award ceremony in the women's floor competition.
The awards ceremony for women's floor exercise. Third place and bronze medalist Chu Yiming, China. Second place.
Bronze medal won by Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China.
First place and gold medalist Shirina, Japan.
Another medal for Tokutsuki Ayu of Japan, a silver. And a gold medal won by her teammate Kishi Rina of Japan.
Please stand and show your respect for international anthem of Japan. Congratulations!
Medalists in the women's floor competition at the Baku World Cup. To the final award ceremony. The victory ceremony for the men's horizontal bar competition. The Baku World Cup taking place at the National Gymnastics Arena in Azerbaijan.
The awards ceremony for women's horizontal bar final. Third place and bronze medalist Chiba Kenta, Japan.
The bronze medal won by Chiba Kenta of Japan. Just ahead of him, Noah Kuavita of Belgium. He wins the silver medal and the title won by the gymnast who performed last, Matsumi Kazuki, the Japanese gymnast, taking gold with a score of 14.1.
Congratulations.
Teşekkür ederim.
The medalists in the men's horizontal bar competition at the Baku World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. And that brings to a close our coverage of the Baku World Cup. The World Cup season well and truly underway now. Next stop will be Antalya in Turkey in a couple of weeks' time.
Aziz dostlar, bununla da idman gimnastikası üzrə Dünya Kuboku sona çatdı. Çok sağ olun, sağ olun.
It's been a pleasure having your company. Thank you so much for joining the action from the National Gymnastics Arena. I've been Ollie Hogben, and I'll say farewell until next we meet.
Bye bye.
Please welcome.
Bu